was best for us to take a new look at our roster, maybe not just for 2019, but for what it looked like 2019 and beyond. So this offseason saw a lot of change, some of which we expected, and some of which came as what I would call a pleasant surprise or development. And we've seen a lot of movement, both at the major league level and at the minor league levels. And we feel like this has been about as effective an off-season as we could have imagined based on our plan, which was to resituate our team focused on the long term rather than on trying to build around that small group, the core group that we talked about so often over these last 3 years. When we got here in 2015, and when I say we, Scott, Andy, myself, our president, front office group, and field staff, we talked about building around a group of Cano and Cruz and Felix and Kyle Seager, building the floor up around them to be as competitive as we could and to play to a championship level and get to the postseason. That obviously is something we fell short of that goal. We performed fairly well on the field over these last 3 years. Fifth best record in the American League. Unfortunately, that wasn't good enough to get us to a single postseason. And we had to take a new look at ourselves and whether that core of players and building around it was the right tact. Obviously, by what we've opted to do, we determined that that wasn't the case. We moved in a different direction. We believe that we have gotten younger, we've gotten more sustainable, and while we would not anticipate that we are a threat to win the World Series in 2019, we do feel like we're better situated to do this come 2020, 2021. And we especially used 2021 as a target date, just looking at the league around us and the way their rosters were built. So looking at the Houston Astros specifically, the Boston Red Sox, the Cleveland Indians, we felt like by 2021, either by free agency, by age, or looking at their systems, that was the time on the calendar where maybe they would be more susceptible to being caught than they are right now. Because these are elite level teams that are playing at an elite level. They're winning 100 plus games a season, and that put us in a fairly difficult position in trying to catch up. So we viewed 2021 as that championship type window if we did this the right way, building around a group that was, from an age perspective, in a window that allowed us to crest in 2021. We identified a number of players in our roster, among them Mitch Haniger, Marco Gonzalez, at the time Edwin Diaz, and determined that we would build around that group in the effort to charge toward 2021. We identified a number of young players, young major league players, and prospects who we felt like were ready or potentially ready to crest at that time, targeted them in trades, and then went out and started to make moves. And along the way, we found opportunity where we weren't expecting it, particularly as it pertained to the deal we did with the New York Mets, involving Robbie Cano and Eddie Diaz. And we found a lot of those players that we had determined we wanted to access, we were able to get them. Some we fell short, and others we were surprisingly able to acquire players who we didn't think we had a chance to, and willing to talk about each and every one of them. I won't bore you with every trade, but what we were able to do was put a group in place that we feel like makes us a very interesting, fun, and athletic team to watch in 2019 while we watch our pitching grow. And by mid-season 2020, a new and really far more robust farm system has a chance to crest and make us what we think is a really interesting team in the second half of 2020 as we move into 2021.